Brought to you by Penguin.
The Three Musketeers by Alexandre Dumas. Read by Paterson Joseph. Introduction. Gustave Doré designed the monument to Alexandre Dumas that stands on the Place Malesherbes in Paris. It was his last work, donated in the writer's honour, and he did not live to see it completed. The smiling bronze Dumas is perched atop a huge stone pedestal. Below him, on the front face of the pedestal, is a group of three figures, a student, a worker, and a young girl, all bending over the same book. On the back face, a rather stern D'Artagnan keeps watch, seated casually with one leg drawn up, his left hand on his hip, his right hand holding a bared sword across his knees. At the unveiling of the monument on the 3rd of November, 1883, 13 years after Dumas' death, the novelist Edmond About paid tribute to the father of the Musketeers in a speech that formed a verbal pendant to Doré's sculpture. It is worth quoting at length. This statue, which would be of solid gold if each of Dumas's readers had contributed 1 centime for it, this statue, gentlemen, is that of a great fool, who, in his fine humour and his astounding gaiety, housed more good sense and true wisdom than all of us have together. It is the image of an irregular who gave the lie to regularity, of a man of pleasure who could serve as a model for all hard-working men, of a chaser after gallant, political, and military adventures who studied more by himself than 3 convents of Benedictines. It is the portrait of a prodigal who, after having squandered millions on all sorts of liberalities, left, without knowing it, a king's inheritance. This beaming face is that of an egoist who was devoted all his life to his mother, his children, his friends, and his country. Goodness made up at least 3/4 of the rich, strange, and nebulous composition of his genius. This impetuous, powerful writer, as irresistible as a torrent in flood, never produced a work of hatred or vengeance. He was mild and generous to his worst enemies. Thus he left none but friends behind. The original of these bronze and verbal portraits was born in the town of Villers-Cotterêts, some 50 miles northeast of Paris, in 1802. His father, who might have been one of his own characters, and undoubtedly inspired several of them, including the giant musketeer Porthos, was a military man by the name of Thomas Alexandre Dumas d'Avy de la Pailletterie, the son of a marquis of the Norman nobility who had been a colonel in the artillery, and in 1760 had gone to try his fortune on the island of San Domingo, and of a black slave named Marie-Cécette Dumas. After the mother's death, the marquis returned to Paris, bringing the boy with him. That was in 1780. Thomas Alexandre was 18, his father 78. When the marquis decided to remarry, his son left home and enlisted as a simple soldier in the Queen's Dragoons, taking the name of Dumas so as not to dishonour the noble colonel. He kept both names ever after, and handed them on to his own son, along with his curly black hair, bright blue eyes, and great physical strength. By 1793, the simple soldier had become a general in the French Republican army. A year earlier, he had married the daughter of an innkeeper in Villers-Cotterêts, Marie-Louise Labouret, whose father was something of a local personage, because he had once been maître d'hôtel to the Duc d'Orléans, the brother of Louis XVI. General Dumas acquired an extraordinary reputation for personal courage and daring while serving in the Army of the North. His most famous exploit was holding the bridge of Brixen alone against an entire squadron of Austrians, thus halting the enemy advance. The Austrians called him the Black Devil. Bonaparte, who was then commander-in-chief of the Republican armies, hailed him as the Horatius Cockles of the Tyrol. But Dumas and other generals of his revolutionary spirit had an inclination to independence that Bonaparte could not tolerate. Though he had personally called Dumas out of retirement in 1798 to join his Egyptian campaign, they had serious disagreements, and Dumas requested permission to return to France. In 1801, after various misadventures, including imprisonment in Naples and a nearly fatal poisoning, General Dumas finally reached Villers-Cotterêts, penniless and in broken health. A year later, Marie-Louise Dumas gave birth to a son, who was registered in the town hall as Alexandre Dumas. It was not until 18...
Sample complete. Ready to continue?